Congratulations. You've just time traveled. The year is 1870-something. You're in the American West. Now forget everything you think you know. The heroic cowboys, the noble duels at high noon, the golden sunsets. Because the Wild West you've seen on screen, it's a complete and total lie. Your first enemy isn't a gunslinger, it's your own body. You wake up on a straw mattress that crackles under your weight, and it's crawling with life. Your clothes are stiff with dried sweat and dust. Bathing? That's a monthly privilege, and only if water is nearby and you actually have the time. The air itself feels alive, thick with the smell of rot, animal waste, and smoke. And believe it or not, this is the easiest part of your day. You rise, and every single joint in your body aches. Out here, the human body isn't sacred. It's a tool, one meant to be used until it shatters. 14-hour days are the norm. Plowing, chopping, mining, hauling. There are no weekends, no holidays, just work until your body quits on you. The average life expectancy is 35. By that measure, you might already be middle-aged, if not actively dying. Hunger is a constant companion. Meals are always the same: beans, hard biscuits, and coffee boiled until it's as black as tar and twice as bitter. Some settlers would mix gunpowder into their coffee for an extra kick. It might keep you awake, or it might just blind you by morning. Before you even think about stepping outside, you shake out your boots. If you forget, a scorpion might remind you. Out here, a venomous bite isn't a medical emergency that you rush to the hospital for. It's a death sentence. The wilderness gives no second chances. You stumble into the nearest town, expecting some semblance of civilization. But this is no frontier paradise. It's a graveyard that just forgot to lie down. The streets are dirt, churned into thick, sticky mud by hooves and rain. Flies swarm the air, feasting on absolutely everything. The saloon, which is your only refuge from the misery, smells of cheap whiskey and utter despair. Inside, the piano is missing half its keys, and it's horribly out of tune. The liquor you're served isn't even real whiskey. It's raw alcohol, often mixed with turpentine or tobacco juice to give it color and a kick. Men don't duel here with honor. They die over spilled drinks and rigged poker games. Their deaths are sudden, messy, and completely forgotten by dawn. You look for a doctor. Don't even bother. Most so-called doctors have never seen the inside of a medical school. For them, surgery means a dirty saw and a bottle of whiskey for anesthesia. Infection kills far more people than bullets ever will. Women in childbirth face horrifying odds. 1 in 4 will die. And the law? That's just a myth. A single sheriff might be responsible for patrolling hundreds of miles of territory. If you steal a horse, or are even accused of stealing one, you'll be hanging from a tree by sunset. Justice here isn't blind, it's completely absent, so maybe you decide to try your luck heading further west. Oregon, California. The supposed land of promise. The trail stretches for 2,000 miles, and it has a grim nickname, the nation's longest graveyard. 1 in 10 travelers will never make it. Statistically, that's a grave every 350 feet. Most don't die from arrows or ambushes like in the movies. They die from disease. Cholera, they called it the Blue Death, and it could turn your body inside out. You could be perfectly fine at breakfast and dead before sunset. Parents bury their own children by the side of the trail. Spouses are laid in shallow graves marked only by a pile of stones. And still, the wagons have to roll on, because stopping means death for everyone else too. When the mountains close in, winter follows. You remember the stories of the Donner Party, trapped by snow, starving, and eventually resorting to eating the only thing left to eat. Out here, morality isn't a luxury you can afford. It's a distant memory. Even the rivers turn against you. Wagons capsize in the current, and entire families vanish beneath the water. The land itself is your executioner. Beautiful, vast, and merciless. This world doesn't reward strength. It rewards luck. You could be the strongest miner in the camp and be crushed in a tunnel collapse. You could be the most diligent farmer and watch your crops wither as your well runs dry. You could be the most loving mother and see your child die from a fever that modern medicine could cure with a single pill. The people who lived here weren't the heroes of legend. They were survivors, desperate, stubborn, and often broken by the world around them. And they weren't just white settlers. They were Chinese railroad workers, blasting through mountains with dynamite for pennies a day. They were black cowboys, former slaves or sons of slaves, driving cattle on brutal, long treks. They were Mexican families, watching as their ancestral lands were stolen from them under new borders, and they were the native nations, facing genocide, starvation, and the systematic erasure of their entire world. The West wasn't won, it was taken. It was built on stolen land, on the backs of the exploited, and on bones buried deep beneath the dust. The myth of the noble cowboy, the righteous gunman cleaning up a lawless town, was a story invented later to hide the sheer ugliness underneath it all. Night falls. It's an absolute endless black. There are no city lights, no comforting glow on the horizon, just the howl of coyotes and the faint thumping sound of your own pulse in your ears. You lie awake, terrified of what waits in the dark. The scorpion in your boot, the sickness brewing in your gut, the stranger with a gun who doesn't need a reason. And as you stare into that blackness, the truth finally settles in. Survival here was never about courage. It was about endurance. Hour by hour, pain by pain, day after agonizing day. Morning will come, but if you're lucky enough to see it, you just have to do it all over again. This was the real Wild West. And you probably wouldn't last a day. Thanks for watching this journey into the past with us. If you found this perspective eye-opening, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next dive into history. See you next time.